When Kayla raised her champagne glass and called me a thief, even the waitstaff froze. The room shimmered under soft chandeliers, gold and white linens laid like we were royalty. Our family didn't belong here, not really. But Kayla had rented the private dining room at the Valley Club, said it was for her birthday/career announcement. She wore a gold cocktail dress that hugged her like attention always did. I sat across from her, napkin in my lap, watching the light dance on the flutes of mimosa. Everyone was laughing. Dad was halfway through a story he'd already told twice. Diane, never mom anymore, adjusted her blouse every few seconds, smiling like the photographer might catch her at any angle. Kayla kept glancing at her phone, then at me. That should have been my warning. She tapped her spoon against the crystal glass, delicate but commanding. Can I get everyone's attention for just a second? Cameras came up. Phones hovered. She smiled. I braced for a new internship, a speech about becoming a brand ambassador. Maybe a shout out to herself for making it this far. Instead, she cleared her throat and said, "Before we dig into dessert, there's something we need to talk about, something uncomfortable." The room shifted. Jokes faded. Wine glasses paused midair. Even the servers slowed down. I didn't want to believe it at first, Kayla continued, her voice syrupy. But I couldn't ignore it. Grandma's necklace, the one she left for me, the $9,000 gold one. She turned, looked right at me. I found it in Sophia's drawer. Time didn't stop. It snapped. Diane gasped, hand flying to her chest like she was playing theater. "Oh my God," she whispered, loud enough for the camera mic. "I knew it. I knew you were always jealous of Kayla." I blinked. Not once. Not fast. Just long enough to wonder if this was a joke with no punchline. Richard didn't say a word, just stared down at his steak like the meat might explain it all. My palms went cold beneath the table. I gripped the cloth napkin like it could anchor me to the floor. I opened my mouth, then closed it. There were no words, only weight. My voice wasn't welcome in that room. She didn't even need it, Kayla added, laughing a little, almost like it hurt her. I mean, why hide it unless you're guilty? Silence answered her. Not a single person asked if it was true. No one said my name like it meant anything. When I stood, my chair scraped against the hardwood. Every eye in the room followed. No one reached out. No one said wait. I didn't explain. I didn't defend myself. I walked out past the rented candles and faux sincerity, past the marble entry and out into the night. They'd built that dinner to celebrate her. She burned it down to bury me. They told me to go, and I did. But I took every wire holding their world together with me. I didn't cry. Not in the Uber, not when Mia opened her door, not when she wrapped a blanket around my shoulders and asked nothing. Instead, I said one sentence. "Do you have Wi-Fi?" She blinked. "Yeah, passwords taped to the fridge." I nodded, walked into her guest room, and shut the door. The room smelled like lavender dryer sheets and fresh tea. I didn't sit on the bed. I sat on the floor, laptop open, fingers steady, rage iced over into precision. First, the mortgage. Dad's name on the deed, but my routing number on the payment. I clicked through the portal like a ghost retracing steps no one saw me take. Auto pay, off, schedule, cleared. Note to self, document everything. Second, the utilities, gas, water, electricity, every account tied to my email. Every line item a silent receipt of sacrifice. Click, disconnect, confirm. The screen blinked. Payment canceled. No noise, no alarm, just absence. They'd notice eventually, when the light stopped turning on, when the water turned cold. I hovered my finger over terminate internet access, paused, smiled. Good luck uploading brunch pics, Kayla. Third, tuition, Kayla's private college, her account number, my paycheck. No warning, just delete payment source. Lock auto draft, cancel support. I didn't even flinch. Outside the door, I heard Mia in the kitchen. A mug clinked, kettle whistled, her footsteps slow. She knocked once. I made chamomile. I opened the door just enough to reach out, took the mug, nodded. Didn't speak. She didn't ask. She just walked away. I sat back down, sipped once. Warm, settling, then opened a folder titled Home. Inside, screenshots of payments, email confirmations, transfer receipts, years of invisible effort, all mine, all theirs, all ending. I started a spreadsheet, color coded, dated, backed up to 3 drives. When people take you for granted, leave them proof you were the ground. I didn't rage, I didn't spiral, I documented, I didn't scream. I calculated. They thought they'd exiled me, but I'd just become their absence. Let's see how long a castle stands without its hidden architect. The first text came on day 10. Fix this, all caps, no greeting, no name, just panic. Kayla, of course. The next one followed minutes later. Power's out. Lena has midterms. Internet's dead. Mom's screaming. I sipped my coffee, set the mug down, and turned off notifications. No one had asked if I was okay. No one had knocked the night they threw me out. But now the lights were off, and suddenly I mattered. I opened the spreadsheet. Tab 1, mortgage. Tab 2, tuition. Tab 3, utilities. Each cell color-coded. Each line time-stamped. Each dollar traced back to me. It was beautiful. At 11:42 a.m., Richard called. I didn't answer. At 11:45, he sent a voicemail. Hey, Soph, something's up with the bills. We've gotten calls from the electric company, the gas, even Lena's school. Can you call me back? His voice didn't sound angry. It sounded lost. Like he'd stepped into a world that had always run on magic, and suddenly the spell broke. By day 12, the Monroe inboxes were drowning in red letter warnings. My email, clean. I clicked open a folder titled Receipts, Final. Uploaded PDFs. Synced them to a private cloud. Labeled everything, payment history, proof of transfers. Every invoice Diane had forgotten to pay. Every late-night Venmo to Kayla with the note, just help her, Soph. My old house key sat on Mia's side table. Still cold, still intact. I hadn't touched it since the night they erased me. I wouldn't touch it again. At 6:07 p.m., the door buzzed. Mia looked at me. I nodded once. She didn't ask. We both walked to the door in silence. Peephole view. Diane, wild-eyed, pounding, red coat, red cheeks, red fury. You ungrateful brat, she screamed. We gave you everything. Mia stepped back. I stayed still. Diane hit the buzzer again, harder. You think walking away makes you strong? It makes you pathetic. You hear me? Pathetic. Her voice cracked on the last word. I didn't flinch. Didn't move. The key was on the table. The bills were in my folder. The damage, they'd done that themselves. They were screaming now, but I wasn't done yet. I planted it in her drawer. Let's see how perfect she looks when she's kicked out. That was the first line I heard when I opened the audio file. I didn't move. Didn't blink. Just sat there, eyes locked on the screen, thumb hovering over pause. The message came out of nowhere. A DM from Jasmine Fields, our old neighbor. Lived 2 doors down. Owned a boutique photo business. Babysat us when Kayla still had braces and I still believed family meant loyalty. Hey, Sophia, the message read. I think you need to hear this. I didn't mean to record it, but I did. Attached, a single MP3 file. Backyard 221.m4, no emojis. No small talk. Just a truth bomb waiting to detonate. I hit play. Laughter, clinking glasses, the faint thump of backyard music. Then Kayla's voice, sharp, smug, unmistakable. I mean, of course I put it there. Sophia acts so perfect. It was time someone showed them she's not. Another girl laughed. Wait, you hid the necklace? Kayla giggled. She wouldn't fight back. That's the thing about martyrs. They never scream. They just take it. Pause. Then she added, like it was a joke. Bet she'll thank me for it someday. I stopped the recording. Let silence fill the room like smoke. The audio wasn't grainy. It wasn't unclear. It was crystal. Labeled. Time-stamped. Jasmine sent another message. I was running a shoot in the backyard. Didn't realize they were right by the mic. I didn't hear it till I was editing the reel last night. And when I did, I got sick. I scrolled down, already sent it to the university. No one that calculated should keep pretending she's a role model. I stared at the words, not because I didn't believe them, but because for the first time since that dinner, someone had seen me. Not the version Kayla sold, not the thief, not the problem, me. The truth didn't come from me yelling. It didn't come from begging. It came from a lens that didn't blink. Somewhere between Kayla's performance and Jasmine's quiet professionalism, Karma decided to press record. I played the file again, just once, not to savor it, to absorb it. Kayla had buried me with a lie, but she forgot. Sound travels, and sometimes it lands where it needs to. I dragged the audio file to my folder, backed it up twice. Not for revenge, for record. They wanted to expose me. Turns out the camera was already rolling on them. Invalid login. That's what Kayla saw when she refreshed her student portal for the third time. She tried again, refreshed, reloaded, re entered her password, still locked. Across campus, the Wi Fi signal blinked weak. She pounded the touchpad like force could fix her failure. Her midterms? Frozen. Her school email? Inactive. Her tuition? Cut 3 weeks earlier by me. Time to the day, to the hour, to the breath before her first exam. No warning, no cushion, just click and gone. Meanwhile, a new thread popped up on the campus forum. Monroe's mask slips. Real audio inside Jasmine's file. Uploaded anonymously. No caption, no defense. Just Kayla's voice spilling cruelty like it was prose. I planted it. She won't fight back. She always wants to look perfect. By noon, the thread had over 300 comments. By 5, it had doubled. Mia held her phone out to me. Is this her? I looked, listened, then sipped my coffee. Didn't answer. One post read, "This is the girl who got that summer internship over 3 others? Wild." Another, "Karma wears a mic, I guess." I didn't reply, didn't repost, didn't text a single soul. I just watched. Control wasn't in confrontation. It was in stillness, in timing. The cut to her tuition wasn't just petty. It was surgical. Locked her out just as deadlines stacked, just as her classmates turned from admirers to witnesses. Back at the Monroe house, Diane slammed her laptop shut. Mia told me later she heard her on the phone. Someone is trying to ruin us. Someone's behind this. She wasn't wrong. Just late. Kayla tried to spin it, of course. Tried a heartfelt story on Instagram, black and white photo, smeared eyeliner, caption about mental health and misunderstandings. She turned off the comments before anyone could respond. But the internet doesn't forget. It bookmarks. It saves receipts. I bookmarked the thread, saved a few replies, filed it under implosions, passive. They were unraveling, thread by thread. And I hadn't lifted a finger. The connection dropped, and this time it wasn't coming back. This isn't her first violation. That's what the email said, from the university. Addressed to Diane Monroe, CC'd to Kayla. Subject line, academic dishonesty, formal suspension notice. Turns out the necklace lie wasn't Kayla's first offense. Last semester, she plagiarized a term paper, got off with a warning. This time, no mercy. Suspended, indefinitely. I didn't read the full email, didn't have to. Just saved the PDF, filed it under consequences, long overdue. Mia showed me Diane's latest Facebook post. Gone were the brunch photos and Daughter of the Year reels. Now, a black background with cursive white text. Some people bite the hand that feeds and wonder why they're starving. No tags, no names, just public pain dressed up as wisdom. It got 2 likes. One was from her hairdresser. I didn't laugh. I didn't comment. Just scrolled past it like the world had always been this honest. Day 18. The water shut off. Day 20. The heat followed. Day 22. A red slip from the electric company taped to the front door. Final notice. Termination date reached. I knew the timing. I'd mapped it out months ago. Each bill set to collapse like dominoes. Each wire I'd once silently paid, now frayed and cut. I pictured Richard sitting in that once perfect kitchen, coffee in his hands, steam rising from a cup he didn't brew, lights out, silence thick, no thermostat hum, no Kayla chatter, just cold. My phone buzzed again, then again. Kayla, is this you? Be honest. Diane, we need to talk. Face to face unknown. Don't you think this has gone far enough? I let them pile up. Instead, I focused on the envelope in front of me. Cream cardstock. Smooth. Heavy. Inside, printed receipts, bank statements, color-coded spreadsheet, photos of checks, email logs, every lie they told, documented, every dollar they forgot, accounted for. On the front, in my handwriting, truth served warm. No threats, no apology, no return address. Just a quiet reminder of who really held the pen. I sealed it, pressed the flap with my thumb, laid it gently on the edge of Mia's desk, because one more dinner was coming. And this time, they'd get the check. Before we eat, Kayla said, glass raised, I just want to say something important. Deja vu. Same room, same table, same silence, different Sophia. The Monroe family had invited me to a reconciliation dinner. Diane called it a fresh start. Richard called it an olive branch. Kayla didn't call it anything, just sent a calendar invite with the subject line, Family First. I came. Not to eat, not to talk, to finish. The table was smaller than last time. Fewer guests, no photographers, just broken people in formal wear. Kayla smiled like she hadn't built her empire on lies, like she hadn't used my silence as a foundation and expected it to hold. She tapped her spoon against her glass again, familiar and venomous. I let her speak. I've made mistakes, she said, eyes glossy, voice trembling like a trained actress. But I never stopped loving this family, especially you, Sophia. Forks hovered. Diane exhaled like she'd been holding her breath since the suspension. Richard nodded into his wine glass. Kayla turned to me, voice syrup slick. If you're ready, I'd love to forgive and forget. I reached into my bag, pulled out the envelope. Cream cardstock, no frills, just fact. I slid it across the table, slow. It made the faintest scratch against polished wood, louder than her apology. Kayla blinked, picked it up, opened the flap. Inside, every tuition payment, logged. Every utility transfer, time-stamped. Mortgage statements in my name. Screen grabs of Jasmine's recording. A printout of her university's disciplinary letter. On top, a sticky note, yellow and unforgiving. The thief paid for your dreams. She read it out loud. Her hand shook. Her smile died. Diane went pale. Richard just stared. Coffee eyes, hollow and black. This is out of context, Kayla stammered, voice cracking. It's not what it looks like. No, I said. First word of the night. It's exactly what it looks like. I stood, didn't touch the glass in front of me, didn't touch the food. My hands were clean, finally. You built a lie, I said. I built a ledger. Let's see which one lasts longer. No one moved. No one breathed. And me? I didn't toast. I build them. Did you ever wonder why they told you I was unstable? Aunt Rachel's voice crackled through the speaker. Calm, measured, like she'd been waiting 20 years for someone to ask. They weren't protecting you, she said. They were protecting themselves. She didn't need to explain. She had already sent the documents. Grandma Quinn's trust, $85,000, left in my name, held in silence, hidden in shame. Rachel found it during a routine check-in with Grandma's old estate attorney. She hadn't been looking for anything, just updating her own will. But when she saw my name, she knew. They never told me, never even hinted. They buried it deeper than the gratitude they owed. Now the check had my name, signed, sealed, deposited. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't need to. Some absences speak for themselves. Kayla tried to stage a comeback, rebranded herself as a healing coach, posted a grainy selfie in front of a ring light with the caption, "Sometimes you lose everything to find yourself." Book a clarity call below. The comments didn't come. The likes never arrived. 2 days later, her page read, "Account not found." Diane tried reaching out through extended cousins. Richard left a voicemail that started with, "We were just trying our best," and ended with static. Meanwhile, I took a walk past their house, not to see them, to see it. The shutters hung crooked. The lawn hadn't been mowed in weeks. In the front yard, a staked white sign with bold red letters, "For sale." By owner, I didn't stop, didn't slow, just passed by like it was a chapter I'd already written. Mia noticed the new necklace before I said anything. "A mic?" she asked, raising a brow. I smiled. "Legacy upgrade. Small, black, sleek, not gold, not stolen. Just a quiet promise. My voice, my terms." I posted a photo that night. No caption, no filter. Just the skyline behind me and the pendant resting just below my collarbone. I didn't block them, didn't delete them, didn't warn them. They could scroll, they could watch, they could wonder. They opened the door to let me out. I shut the vault behind me. "They called me a thief," I said into the mic, "but I was the one paying their bills." That was the title. That was the truth. That was the beginning. I didn't hire a team, didn't rent a studio. Just angled a ring light against my window, adjusted my mic pendant, and hit record. The video was 12 minutes. Calm, unapologetic. No tears, no rage, just the facts. The tuition, the mortgage, the utilities, the lies, the dinner table, the necklace, the silence. I didn't name them, didn't have to. The story carried itself. By morning, the video had 38,000 views. By noon, it passed 100,000. By the next day, it hit trending. Comments poured in, women mostly. Some angry, some crying, all of them seen. This is my story too. You didn't just survive, you documented it. She didn't get revenge, she got respect. Pinned. 3 sponsors emailed by day 2. A podcast DM'd by day 4. By the end of the week, Forbes Women requested an interview. I didn't reply right away. Not because I wasn't interested, because I wasn't surprised. It felt like recognition. But more than that, it felt like correction. I wasn't rebuilding a name. I was unveiling it. I posted again, then again, Money Made Simple with Sophia, budgeting, boundaries, how to leave without guilt, how to stay gone without shame. Every upload had a purpose. Every subscriber felt like someone else choosing clarity over chaos. Mia cried watching my second video. Rachel sent me flowers. White lilies, the kind Grandma used to keep on her windowsill. I got a text that same night. Blocked number. The preview showed just enough. "We watched your video." I didn't open it, didn't need to. Somewhere in a too quiet house, Diane was watching me on a cracked iPad. Volume low. Shame loud. Maybe she paused it. Maybe she replayed it. Maybe she wondered when I became this version of myself. Answer: I didn't become her. I uncovered her. I was always this sharp, always this steady, always this quiet storm waiting for the right frequency. They tried to mute me. They erased me from the story. I rewrote the whole book. "You always had her eyes," Rachel said, handing me the frame. "But now, you've got her strength too." Morning light spilled across my apartment like a soft reminder. 18 floors up. Skyline view. Peace. The air was quiet in a way I'd never known growing up. No footsteps overhead, no voices sharp around the corner. Just coffee, clicking keys, and a clock I no longer feared. My mug sat beside the window. Cream ceramic chipped on the handle. Words printed in bold. Built, not bought. It had been a year since that dinner. Since the microphone, since the check. Since the last time someone called me a disappointment. Now. I woke to emails from partners, not power companies. To conference invites, not calls begging for money. To Aunt Rachel's knock, not Diane's screams. She came over every other Sunday, brought fruit, gossip, and memories I never got to keep as a child. This time she brought something else. A photo. Old. Faded at the edges. One of the last we took before Diane pushed Rachel out for starting drama. It had been cut in half. I could see where the scissors sliced through the border, but now she'd taped it back, centering me, not Kayla. I placed it on the shelf beside the mic pendant, not as a trophy, as a timestamp. Proof that legacy isn't what you inherit, it's what you repair. A sealed envelope rested on my desk, handwritten, addressed to them, still unopened, still unsent, not out of fear, out of choice. Some truths aren't meant to be delivered, just known, Mia texted. Another viral clip. Another DM from someone who saw themselves in my voice. Another woman walking away from a family that only loved her when she was useful. I smiled, typed out a caption for tomorrow's post. Silence isn't surrender. Sometimes it's the loudest boundary you can build. I heard Diane watches my videos, that she pretends not to care, that she keeps the volume low, that Richard asks if I'm doing okay, like the question can undo a year of exile. But I don't need them to understand. I don't need them to say sorry. They don't own that power anymore. I sip my coffee, frame the next shot, breathe. I'm not angry, not bitter, just rooted. They tried to bury me. When you bury someone in lies, they don't disappear. Sometimes they grow roots. They tried to bury me, but when you bury someone in lies, they don't disappear. Sometimes they grow roots. And that's the lesson I hope you carry with you. Not every betrayal comes from strangers. Sometimes it comes from the people who shared your dinner table, your childhood, your trust. And when it does, it doesn't just break your heart, it shakes your identity. But pain, when met with clarity, becomes power. You don't need to scream to be heard. You don't need to prove yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Sometimes the most powerful revenge isn't shouting the truth, it's living it, visibly, unapologetically, and on your own terms.